Marvel Studios film output. So at the most recent earnings call, Marvel Studios had their slate up, and upcoming Disney release dates. And while they reshuffled many things and Spider-Man was added for, July of next year, that November date, which was again supposed to be Blade, but Blade was removed, was not removed. And Disney said they're sticking with a Marvel project for that. So in 2026, we're getting Doomsday, Spider-Man, something in November. We don't know what it is. Reportedly, Black Panther 3, Shang-Chi 2, or something else. Maybe if they can squeeze in Doctor Strange. That's a lot of content again.
It is, and it's a weird thing because I know not so much on the Marvel side. Like people were like really mad at what was the princess name? It's like Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Her animated stuff got canned, and
awful.
It's just. But back to the Marvel thing, I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna use for that in the whole grand scheme of things, because everything's been shuffled so much, and they reshuffled again. Is that's why for Captain America, I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to know what's going on, because for Mackie, he did the best he could, and he carried that movie. On my take is that's just something I'm just worried about what's going forward at this point in time.
You bring that up, let's say hypothetically, because now we're hearing Spider-Man 4 is a Battleworld film, possibly Spider Island, and the second film would, I guess, have to be it as well. So is Black Panther going to be Battleworld? Wait, did you miss
I have
this
not
news,
heard
Jared?
any of the Spider Island rumors. What?
I've not heard this. What's going on?
This
is
a weird one. So Spider-Man is still coming out. We know that. Then it was reported that the film is going to be part of Multiverse after all those leaks, because we see everything, right? And reportedly, the new Spider-Man film, according to, I believe it was Daniel RPK to report it first, and then other insiders backed him, they're looking at doing Spider Island, where Manhattan is a battle world, and then it's just going to be Spider Island.
Oh, okay. So they're fusing the battle world instance
into Spider Island.
Of 616 with Spider Island itself. So
if it's in the aftermath of Doomsday, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think we all would like a smaller scale, here's Peter living in the choice that he made. I think that to use Daredevil as kind of a jumping off point, in the way that between Daredevil season 3 and now the first season of Born Again, the idea of Matt going all in on being Daredevil in season 3. And it's Matt Murdock does not deserve to rejoin the world of the living. I should commit myself fully to this mission. And then Born Again, spoilers, him casting that aside and going, I'm actually going to be Matt full time now, and Daredevil be damned. I was like, okay, I want to see a movie where Peter's grappling with that choice, really for the first time.
So you just want to see if we do get a grounded fourth movie, is that Peter in essence is not there. You're going to be seeing him as Spider-Man for most of the movie.
Sounds like it's
and front loading the Spider-Man. That he's front loading the Spider-Man persona, and that's what I wanted. But if it's coming out after Doomsday, then you really have to make the aftermath of whatever happens in Doomsday count.
Right.
Which is why I get it.
Right, which then makes me question, if you're doing that and they truly are going to do Battleworld, and you got another film coming out that November before Secret Wars, are you going to make Black Panther 3 a Battleworld film? Because to me, World War Hulk seems more fitting, right? Wouldn't that make sense?
But they can't do that, can they?
Probably not, yeah. You probably have to make it some other character and World War Hulk.
Yeah, which I don't think people appreciated Sam's movie being The Incredible Hulk 2.
No. Yeah.
No, I think World War Hulk should be an Avengers movie. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Avengers World War Hulk is a fun, that's just a fun title to say, period. That is
well, it's a fun title that was 20-something years in the making, so it has to be good.
I think that when it comes to the release dates and everything, I'm very interested in, again, I don't I've never bought into the Marvel is back, Marvel is dead stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think there has been a precipitous drop off in quality the way people pretend there has been. Again, I think that we are looking at the kind of like Star Wars fandomification of the MCU, where like people just gaslight themselves into thinking there is a flawless before time. That said, some of the only thing with the release dates that I'm still hung up on is I'm really afraid that Disney is going to not learn their lesson from Solo: A Star Wars Story, which I know is which I know is a like cross that Armin and I kind of like singularly
he loves
bear.
it, man. He loves it.
I know, yeah, but like I love Solo as well. I think it's incredible, and I'm really hoping that Lando movie or show with Donald Glover happens, because it's going to be the spiritual successor to Solo. But I'm really afraid of what happened there, because you had Avengers Infinity War, which was on a record-breaking reign of terror for all of May. Then you had Incredibles 2. Then you had Deadpool 2. And sandwiched in between all of that was Solo: A Star Wars Story, a great film that, and I hate this mentality, but like it was the Star Wars movie nobody asked for. There was an audience that was like, oh, Rogue One, like let's see like this like kind of like grounded like war drama about like how the rebels got the Death Star plans. I'm afraid that Mandalorian and Grogu is going to get screwed by Avengers Doomsday. And I really hope that's not the case, because I just cannot fathom how you can think that putting these two next to each other is a good idea. And they already moved Spider-Man a little bit to accommodate Nolan's Odyssey movie, so they're not pitting Tom Holland
what's happening with Spider-Man? They're not allowed to do any IMAX screens. Nolan has all IMAX screens around the world for 6 weeks. Spider-Man is getting delayed, which is why I keep saying they're probably delaying in September, October, maybe even November. But if there's another film coming out in November, it's cannibalizing everybody again. Because October, we got the Batman Part 2. Like, it's...
Allegedly.
Yeah. I'm not believing that when I see it.
Yeah, but there's one thing I do know: like if they move Spider-Man to like December, we know it can do numbers, because it's Spider-Man. Like people will go to the movies to see Spider-Man in December. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Preferably, probably at San Diego Comic-Con to get a little bit more information.
You would
most likely. So.
Okay, Mitch, what's your take on this, and what do you think they would toss out in a November-December time slot?
I don't know. I don't even know what they're cooking up at the minute. It's all over the king place. And what November-December, between Avengers or like?
But yeah, it's between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So
I honestly don't know. I think Spider-Man would be a good fit for it, just because No Way Home did quite well there.
Right. Yeah, I think they'd have to delay at this point Spider-Man into that slot, which is why they're holding it. Again, reports are stating it's gonna be Black Panther 3, which I hope not. I don't want that to be a Battleworld film. That would just be...
I think Black Panther 3 could be a really interesting Battleworld film.
Man. What, you just got a bunch of different T'Challas and see who tests the best with the audience?
I mean, let's be honest here. That's going to be exactly what Spider Island, if it is Spider Island, that's exactly what that's going to be. You'll have Spider-Gwen, you'll have Miles. It won't be, oh, people are spiders. It's, here's a bunch of Spider-Men.
Yeah. Yep.
Mitch, do you think you and I will finally be served in live action?
No.
And our boy?
No.
No. Okay. I'm going to hold on hope like an idiot.
We can't even get Nova. There is zero chance we're going to get an Octavia Spider-Man.
Sony's going to find out that there was a superior Spider-Man, and they're going to be like, okay, we got to do that, but we got to botch it. And then they're going to do that. So
yeah, be Kane
don't
or
even
something.
joke. Don't even joke. I will. Oh my god! I will burn theaters to the ground.
Okay, like here's like the I guess the percentage of any of the other technically spiders getting their own like actual like time in a movie. For like an example would be Spider-Gwen. What one of the original creators of that particular character said in talks about Marvel is that Marvel doesn't want to give Sony any ideas or villains or storylines for that particular character, which is why Gwen is just spinning on its wheels, because Marvel as a whole just said no, don't create any new characters, don't create any new stories for her, just keep reusing what we can use because we don't want to have Sony being able to use that on the big screen and potentially ruin it, like how they've been ruining a lot of other characters for Marvel because they want to use those characters. But then Sony's like, we'll do that first because we need the money.
Yeah.
Such a bizarre relationship.
Marvel needs to start introducing Spider-Man villains in Avengers comics and then making them Spider-Man villains after just to screw with them. You know, it's like,
oh my god,
they'll still get it.
True. No.
What I am really excited about with the amount of movies that will be sandwiched between Doomsday and Secret Wars is that, like, and we were talking about this on the most recent Nerd Academy, where for me, you know, I think that like when all of this started out with what we knew was coming, we knew there was a movie called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And we knew that there was going to be some time in reality hopping with Loki. And we knew that Wanda was messing about with the multiverse. And because of all the leaks and the trades, we knew that like there was going to be multiversal nonsense in Spider-Man. Is that there are these kind of like 4 quadrants of how is the multiverse going to finally fracture? And then assuming that the rest of the MCU would be putting it back together and it would end with Avengers. What I like and what I hope is that with the amount of stories in between that we could be getting, that this saga was about watching the multiverse slowly fall apart, that there wasn't one single, and now the seam has burst and reality is just, you know, a mishmash of different ideas. I love the idea that like, okay, the Multiverse Saga has been building to this, and now we get to live in these disparate realities for several movies. You know, like it's like with, you know, Avengers Infinity War into Endgame, you know, there were 2 Marvel movies in between them, but they were both loosely Ant-Man and the Wasp is a prequel, you know, just in terms of like, you know, the movie is happening right before the events of Infinity War, and then Captain Marvel throws us all the way back to like 94 or whatever. So like it very much avoids having to deal with what was happening,
which is like
in the immediate aftermath, which we now know was a whole like 5 years of insanity.
Right, and we got a glimpse of that. It's like, oh, we get to see what Hawkeye was doing as Ronin. You're like, that's cool. But we get 5 minutes of it maybe in Hawkeye.
Which is even weirder because for the casual crowd, they won't know what MCU Wanda has been up to because they won't read the comic. That there's a comic, the TVA, where they actually captured MCU Wanda and she's in cold storage right now.
Can we not act like comics are canon?
No, they're canon.
We learned this lesson from the 2010s, all right?
Yeah,
the comics that Marvel put out are not canon to the MCU.
No, I'm saying it's canon because it'd be fun. It'd be funny.
No,
that's why. Yeah.
DC keeps saying their like stuff is canon, but we know that's gonna.
Yeah, but James Gunn just shits out of his mouth.
The James Gunn does. Remember, guys.
Oh, I don't like.
He only announces projects that the scripts are complete and are gonna get made. 70% has been canceled, but yes.
Yeah.
Still don't know how those animations and video games are going to tie into the whole DCU as a whole.
Well, I have a fun fact for you, Tristan.
The games never will. There's your fact. But okay, going off of that,
not everybody can be Star Wars, guys. Not everybody can be the granddaddy of all of this multimedia nonsense.
The last 2 Star Wars games are mid.
Okay, Jedi Survivor is great. Outlaws is fine, but Survivor's incredible.
Outlaws.
To be honest, I forgot Outlaws existed. I was just talking about the Jedi games because I just wanted that rise.
Here's the problem you have with Outlaws. It's the solo territory where it's the least interesting thing for people because it's like there's no lightsabers, you're underpowered, you got to sneak around. It's like that's not the fantasy. Even
that's not even the problem. It's Ubislub. Like,
they got a bit of that.
It's a little bit it's a little bit of everything. Mostly the weird gameplay mechanics that Ubisoft implemented, which didn't need to be there in the first place.
Which they patched out, but way too late. Way too late.
Can you still like not carry a gun up a ledge? Is that still a thing?
You can now.
Oh my god! Wow.
Oh, like a pickup, like you drive. God, dude, I encountered so many game-breaking bugs playing Outlaws that like it put me in such a sour mood. Like I've talked about this before. The big finale of the game, where spoilers for a game I know nobody else is going to play at this point. you know, you go and you fight, you know, Zarek Besh, and you take out whatever, and you're in space, and oh no, the Empire's showing up in mass. There was like 3 Star Destroyers, and you're in this like rinky-dink little rust bucket, and you're fighting for your life. And then whatever crime syndicate you have the best relationship with shows up to like bail you out. And it's great, and it's cinematic, and it's incredible. For me, it was Crimson Dawn, and you know, it's so cool. It's a great finale. It's even better when the sound works, I guess. Because for me,
well, that's what you encountered. Okay,
yeah.
For me, the only noise I could hear, not even dialogue during the cutscenes, the only audio I had was the sound of my missiles deploying and my blaster cannon firing from my controller. Like all I had was the sound of like that. Chunk, chunk,
so I was going to say
that's all I got. That is
so
all I had for the
that's
entire
actually
finale.
Was a common bug if you had the controller sound enabled, because I encountered it at the beginning of the game. I disabled it, never once had an issue again. But again, it was these little things that got in the way. It was, and that's the Disney scale of quality.
Yeah, that's why, like, if you ask someone now to play it, they try, well, yeah, it's a pretty good game. I don't know why people are harping on it so much. And then he goes, well, you weren't there at the beginning, were you?
Yeah.
It's like Cyberpunk. It got better, but it took 2 years, you know? You're like, well...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to Assassin's...
That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Ubisoft, like I didn't get to Assassin's Creed Unity until like what 5-6 months after it came out when I got an Xbox One for Christmas that year. So like, I did not encounter like Arnold's face like flipping inside out in the middle of the cutscene.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
Bro, I went to climb the Eiffel Tower and my character shot to the moon. Literally, just flew up and the console crashed. I was like, "Was that?" Okay, is that the Animus glitching? What's happening here?
Bro, that's like my favorite video game glitch of all time. I never personally encountered it, but I love watching videos of it as a teenager. Was the Jackdaw Ascension glitch in Black Flag, where like the ship would just like float into the heavens and the crew would just scatter off of it, but also be floating alongside it in a full T pose, and it just looked like the rapture was happening in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I never had that.
This is just how it goes sometimes. It's how it goes. So, all right, well, get off of that because we got another big important topic to talk about here. So, thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will. And if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching and have a good one.